The quiet of a Florida night was violently shattered. A terrifying security breach at the residence of Donald Trump has just sent shockwaves across the United States. In the dead of night, an armed intruder attempted to bypass the heavy security perimeter of the Mar-a-Lago estate. He was carrying weapons, and his presence sparked an immediate high-stakes confrontation with the United States Secret Service and local law enforcement. This incident has reignited urgent conversations about the safety of high-profile political figures and the intense, often volatile political climate currently gripping the nation. Today, we are going to break down exactly what happened. We'll look at how the security perimeter was breached, the immense logistical challenges of defending a massive property like Mar-a-Lago, and what this means for the future of political security in America. While millions of Americans were asleep, the heavily guarded gates of the Palm Beach property became the scene of a life-or-death standoff. Law enforcement officials report that the suspect approached the outer perimeter of the estate under the cover of darkness. Armed with a firearm and suspicious equipment, the individual attempted to breach the property lines. To understand the gravity of this, you have to picture the scene.
It is the middle of the night. The streets surrounding the wealthy enclave of Palm Beach are virtually empty. But behind the iron gates and manicured hedges of Mar-a-Lago, a highly trained, heavily armed security apparatus is awake, and they are watching. Sensors, cameras, and physical patrols are constantly monitoring the boundary. The moment the intruder crossed into restricted space, the system worked exactly as it was designed to. Secret Service personnel and local sheriff's deputies immediately detected the unauthorized presence. This set off a rapid response protocol designed for this exact nightmare scenario. As the intruder moved closer to the inner perimeter, armed agents moved in to intercept. Commands were shouted into the dark, ordering the suspect to stand down and drop the weapons. In these incredibly tense seconds, agents are trained to evaluate the threat level. When the suspect failed to comply with these lawful orders and instead postured in a threatening manner, raising the weapon, the agents had no choice. Law enforcement was forced to engage. The confrontation ended rapidly, with the suspect being neutralized at the scene. Emergency medical personnel were immediately dispatched, but the threat had already been stopped.
Within minutes, the entire area was locked down. The luxurious winter estate was transformed into a sprawling crime scene, buzzing with federal investigators, yellow crime scene tape, and the flashing red and blue lights of dozens of police cruisers. One of the most critical details to emerge from the immediate aftermath of this chaos is that Donald Trump and his immediate family were not on the premises at the time of the breach. They were safely located in a different city, far removed from the danger unfolding at their doorstep. However, the absence of the primary protectee does not diminish the severity of this incident one bit. The breach of a highly secured, federally protected residence by a heavily armed individual is a massive red flag for national security agencies. It raises severe, uncomfortable questions. How did this individual manage to get so close to the property boundaries with weapons in hand? And what were their ultimate motives? To fully grasp why this happened, we have to look closely at the unique security challenges presented by Mar-a-Lago itself. When you think of presidential or high-level political security, you probably think of the White House. The White House is essentially a military fortress. It sits in the middle of Washington, D.C., surrounded by massive steel fences, concrete bollards, anti-aircraft missile defense systems, and a massive perimeter that keeps the general public far away. It is designed exclusively for the business of government and the protection of the commander-in-chief.
Mar-a-Lago is completely different. It is a sprawling 20-acre estate that doubles as a private members-only club. It is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean on one side and the Intracoastal Waterway on the other, with a public road running right past it. Securing an area that large, wrapped in public access points, and frequently visited by club members, guests, and catering staff requires an astronomical amount of manpower, funding, and coordination. The Secret Service doesn't just have to watch the front gate, they have to monitor the airspace above the property for drones or aircraft. They have to partner with heavily armed Coast Guard units and local Marine Patrol to sweep the surrounding waters for potential threats approaching by boat or scuba gear. They have to maintain a strict physical perimeter on the ground, utilizing canine units, tactical teams, and advanced surveillance technology. Despite these incredible round-the-clock efforts, the property has seen its share of trespassers over the years, but an intruder actively wielding a firearm and tactical gear? That marks a massive, terrifying escalation in the threat level. Because of this escalation, the FBI, alongside the Department of Homeland Security and local police departments, has launched a massive multi-agency investigation. Right now, forensic teams are meticulously scouring the perimeter. They are looking for dropped items, examining every angle of surveillance footage, and searching for clues that might indicate exactly how this attack was planned and executed. But the investigation goes far beyond the grass of Mar-a-Lago. Federal agents are currently digging deep into the background of the deceased suspect. In the modern era of law enforcement, this means launching a massive digital forensic operation. Investigators are seizing computers, cell phones, and routers to analyze the suspect's digital footprint. They are combing through social media activity, forum posts, and encrypted messaging apps to see if the suspect left behind a manifesto or a trail of radicalized thoughts. Crucially, the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, is working to trace the origins of the weapons used in the attempt. They need to know exactly how this individual acquired the firearm. Was it purchased legally? Was it stolen? Did someone else help them get it? The ultimate goal of all this intelligence gathering is to answer one terrifying question. Was this a lone wolf operation carried out by an unstable individual, or was it part of a larger, coordinated conspiracy? If there are accomplices out there, federal authorities are in a race against time to track them down before they can strike again. This latest security scare simply cannot be viewed in a vacuum. It is happening against the backdrop of an incredibly tense, hyper-polarized era in American politics. The threat of political violence has moved from the dark fringes of the internet to the absolute forefront of our daily national news. The United States has recently witnessed a horrifying uptick in violence, assassination attempts, and severe threats against public servants, judges, and political candidates on both sides of the aisle. The American public is still processing the trauma of recent high-profile attacks. We have seen harrowing incidents at campaign rallies where shots rang out into crowds, changing the course of political history in an instant. We have seen previous security breaches at golf courses where armed individuals lay in wait. Each time an event like this occurs, it sends a ripple of deep anxiety through the voting public. It creates an atmosphere of fear, and it forces federal agencies to completely rethink their protective strategies from the ground up. The pressure on the United States Secret Service right now is historically unprecedented. The men and women of this agency are being stretched to their absolute limits. Following this latest breach, lawmakers in Washington are already demanding emergency briefings from the Director of the Secret Service. Congress wants tough answers. They are asking whether the agency has the necessary funding, the appropriate manpower, and the strategic foresight to prevent these kinds of attacks before they reach the perimeter of a protected residence. So, what happens next? The immediate fallout from this armed breach will almost certainly result in a massive overhaul of security protocols. In the coming weeks and months, we can expect to see an increased, highly visible presence of physical barriers around properties like Mar-a-Lago. We will likely see more aggressive use of drone surveillance and counter-drone technology. There will likely be even tighter restrictions on public access to the roads, beaches, and waterways surrounding the estate, creating a much wider buffer zone. But beyond the physical security measures, this event forces us to reckon with a much larger societal issue. How did we get here? How did the political temperature in the United States reach a boiling point where armed individuals feel compelled to launch midnight assaults on the homes of political figures? Law enforcement can build higher fences and deploy more agents, but as long as the underlying climate of extreme polarization persists, the threat of political violence will remain a dark cloud over the nation. As the FBI continues to piece together the exact timeline, the digital trail, and the ultimate motive of the armed intruder, the American public is left watching, waiting, and wondering what comes next. The swift and decisive action of the Secret Service agents and local deputies on the scene successfully neutralized the suspect and prevented what could have been a catastrophic, history-altering tragedy. Their bravery and rapid response under immense pressure cannot be overstated. But this event serves as a chilling, undeniable reminder of the lengths to which some individuals will go and the constant, ever-present danger faced by those in the political spotlight. This is a rapidly developing story, and the details are still unfolding as federal authorities declassify information and release it to the press. We will continue to follow this massive investigation closely, bringing you the absolute latest updates from law enforcement, the intelligence community, and the ongoing political fallout. Now, we want to know what you think about this situation. Do you believe the current security protocols for high-profile political figures are enough, or does the entire system need a complete overhaul? Let us know your thoughts on this major security breach in the comments below. If you found this breakdown informative, please make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update on this and other breaking national news stories. Stay safe, stay informed, and we will see you in the next video.